We are considering the Bible in 40 words. And if you had to sum up the entire Bible in just 40 words, one of those words would inevitably be the word fall. Because everything that gets built up eventually falls down, doesn't it? That's one of the messages of the Bible. That's one of the messages of our reading for this week. We're reading 1st and 2nd Kings, two books that were originally one book, the Book of Kings. It's a story from King Solomon, the son of David, through all the kingdoms until it all fell. And so that word is key in the Bible. When we start with Adam and Eve, everything was perfect. And eventually they fell. They fell, they sinned. They couldn't keep it together. And the Bible tells us that that's who we are. That's what we do. And it can seem depressing. But it also points us to our need for God. And so in this reading this week, the book of Kings, 1st and 2nd Kings, keep that word fall in mind. Keep in mind the way we inevitably fall. Because in this reading, you're going to see things being built up, only to fall down. And this reading is like a scaffolding. You're building the history. You're building the framework that the whole rest of the Old Testament, in a way all the rest of the Bible, will be built up on. And so think of that scaffolding being built. You're going to come across a lot of names and places and a lot of history in the book of Kings when we go through this giant sweep from Solomon until the time the kingdom fell. And so think about that big picture, because from now on, after this, it's not going to be chronological anymore. When we read 1st and 2nd Chronicles, it's going to be like adding walls to our building with more detail to the history that's already been built, that you've already established in Kings. When we read Psalms and Proverbs, it's going to be like walls and brick. The songs that were sung at this time, the wise sayings that they learned at this time. And then we're going to get into the wisdom literature, and we're going to answer the question, why do people suffer? And the time frame is going to be this time, as they look back at this building, at this story, and ask, why did it all come down? And then we're going to read prophet after prophet after prophet. And all the prophets spoke at this time, just like the prophet Elijah that we'll encounter in our reading this week. All of the prophets were speaking to this rising and falling. And so build your framework this week. Go through 1st and 2nd Kings. There's some amazing stories in there. But don't get too bogged down in all those names and all those kings, because we're going to build off this, and it's going to get richer. So build your framework this weekend. Build it knowing that everything that goes up must come down, but that whatever fall we live through, God is with us in it.